Ras's master might just be the most powerful and mysterious being we ever encountered in all of Ninjago. A force so dangerous, so influential that he doesn't even need to show his face to alter the course of history. He commands Ras, a brutal warrior, a master manipulator, one of the most intimidating villains a ninja have ever faced. And we're only just beginning to guess how far this dark being truly reaches, from ancient rituals to the Forbidden Five knowledge, from having his own void to teleporting the whole Shadow Dojo. Ras's master is quietly pulling every string. We're breaking down everything we know about his origin, his terrifying power, and who he truly is, how he might be the final key to reversing the merge itself. Let's rewind back to the wilderness where Ras was just a helpless cub, abandoned and left for dead in the forest of spirits. It was there he met his master, not a rescuer, not a friend, but a teacher, one who taught him a single brutal lesson: strength is all that matters. Over time, that belief consumed Ras's worldview. He didn't just admire his master, he worshipped him. Every battle, every betrayal, every moment of rage all traced back to that one thing: strength above everything else. And Ras dedicated his entire life to fulfilling his master's mission, no matter how long it took or how high the cost. But here's the terrifying part: Ras isn't a fool, he knows a lot about the merge. And Ras was the one who said that Wu caused the merge. He gets all his information from his master, meaning that his master isn't some normal villain. He knows a lot and probably the reason why Wu caused the merge. So that means that he isn't a normal villain, he is a big part of Dragons Rising. And a ninja will probably need to fight him at the end of Dragons Rising, maybe even leading to some death scene in a flashback, but that can also mean if Ras's master reverses the merge, that could lead to the death of some of the ninja. The most logical theory is that the ninja will need to fight against Ras's master and could lead to the death of many ninja. That reversing the merge could reverse everything it created. No realms, and maybe save people that disappeared or died in the merge. Also, by the time we reach Dragons Rising Season 2, Ras is not alone in his mission, and we finally learn that he's just one piece of a much larger puzzle. In a spell at the waterfall, Ras receives a telepathic command from his master mid-conversation with Jordana.
I await your instructions, Master.
No hesitation, no questions, he follows the order: sacrifice 5 cloud moons under the blood moon. That wasn't Ras's idea, that was his master's command. A forbidden ritual designed to release the Forbidden Five, ancient beings capable of warping reality. Ras didn't even hesitate before obeying what his master said. And when the ritual fails, Ras panics, he begs for help. The response: the Shadow Dojo, Ras, his army, all of it, is instantly teleported to a new location. No incantation, no spell, no visible preference, just raw power. And that's when things go from dangerous to terrifying. Ras is pulled into the void, surrounded by blinding lights. He floats mid-air, trembling with glowing eyes. The visual is very similar to when Harumi ended up in the Overlord's void. The Overlord was also in a Etheria state, meaning that he isn't in his mortal body. Then later he brought Harumi back to life. The Source Dragons also have their own void. Lloyd can enter it because he is a conduit, meaning that they have a connection with the Source Dragons. We see Lloyd enter it by having a vision about the Source Dragons. It's where the Source Dragons are located, if they're not in their mortal body. We know that the Source Dragons and the Overlord are one of the most powerful beings in Ninjago, so if they have their own void, and Ras's master also has its own void, that means that he is really powerful to even has his own void where he is located. But this is different than the Source Dragon void, darker, colder, controlled, and instead of peace, Ras bows in absolute submission. But here's the thing, Ras never reveals his master's name, not to Jordana, not to anyone. That's not just being secretly, that's strategy. This figure is hiding for a reason, because his full plan, it's not ready yet, because they are facing troubles on their path, including the ninja. But why does Ras follow him so blindly? Because Ras doesn't believe he's fully evil, he genuinely believes his master plan can reverse the merge. and bring back his lost people. This isn't about domination, it's about rewriting reality. He believes that it can save all of the people, and does everything it takes to achieve that goal, even if it's bringing back ancient evil. Every great warrior must make difficult choices to save the ones they love. That's Ras's personal quote, handed down by his master, and it justifies every action he takes, every manipulation, every sacrifice, every betrayal, and that makes him more dangerous than ever, because he thinks he's a hero while doing villain actions. Let's look at the people Ras has broken. Princess Beatrix, convinced to murder her own father and imprison the Source Dragon of Energy with Ras's help. Eren, manipulated into turning on his friends. Rek, recruited for war in the tournament. Jay, deceived into trusting him as a loyal student and making him shatter his goodness. Jordana, tempted with power and purpose, and Sora with Ras almost killing her. What do they all have in common? Sensitivity. Ras targets the insecure, the lost ones craving approval. But remember, this isn't Ras's ID, it's the same playbook his master used on him. The cycle repeats. Needing to be liked is a weakness. People are tools to reach your goal. These aren't just tactics, they're lessons, drilled into Ras from the moment he was found. This master's legacy isn't just magical, it's mental warfare. So who is Ras's master? Let's break it down. Some fans believe it could be the Overlord, and for a good reason. The void where Ras is lifted mirrors the Overlord's dark void. His knowledge is high as the Overlord. He's shown the ability to manipulate, to corrupt, and to return from nothing. But there's a problem. The Overlord has returned so many times, from the legacy of the Green Ninja to Crystallize, that his reappearance now would feel less impactful. He's been defeated, destroyed, and reborn multiple times now. This mystery feels like something new. Everything points to one answer, the Source Dragon of Strength. Ras carries the Source Dragon of Strength icon from the very beginning.
Hence, I've been carrying the icon of the Source Dragon of Strength with me all this time. But we need icons for the other 6.
He uses it as a weapon because there was no place in Imperium for 2 Source Dragons. He said, "My master taught me strength."
My master found me and taught me the most important thing in this world. Strength.
Thunderfang directly refers to Source Dragon of Strength with, or the self-obsessed strength.
Or the self-obsessed strength.
All these signs suggest Ras's master isn't just someone who values power, he embodies it. The evidence now leads to not just to any Source Dragon, but the Source Dragon of Strength itself. And if that's true, it would explain everything. The energy Ras was exposed to, the obsession with power and dominance, the rituals, the influence, the legacy of manipulation. This master doesn't want power, he wants control over fate, over the realms, over reality itself, and he's been planting seeds, letting Ras use the Shadow Dojo and forgotten fighting techniques, teaching Jordana forbidden magic with the help of Ras, corrupting Eren, the next generation hero, into believing that Lloyd doesn't teach him good, and that Ras can find his parents, preparing an attempt at the Blood Moon ritual, all while staying hidden, watching and waiting. But for what? The return of the Forbidden Five, the resurrection of his own body, a second merged, one that he controls. Those are just parts of his plan. His main plan is to reverse the merge. For what is not revealed yet, but probably for full control and more. While for now everything leads to him, he's still a Source Dragon, and this isn't really any proof. Why would the Source Dragon betray the others? They are the source of all power, and they keep the balance. He could do it because he's self-obsessed, like Thunderfang said, or for more power, but it is unlikely. The evidence we now have leads to a new character. It still could be an older character, but it is unlikely to be the Overlord or the Source Dragon of Strength. We could compare the powers like the Overlord and the Source Dragon having their own void and teleporting the whole Shadow Dojo. Also a powerful villain is Garmadon, but what we see now doesn't lead to him, because of Ras's master having his own void, and while Garmadon is one of the strongest villains we saw, he doesn't have the ability to teleport the whole Shadow Dojo and everyone in it to a different location. He could have gained those powers during the merge, but it doesn't really make sense for it to be the Overlord, the Source Dragon of Strength or Garmadon. While it could be still possible, most likely is a whole new character. but some stuff still leads to the Source Dragon of Strength. Those make the most sense to be Ras Master. Whatever it is, it's coming. So who's Ras Master? We still don't know for sure, but the scariest part, Ras, a manipulative genius and unstoppable fighter, sees himself as just a student, which means the real villain. He hasn't even stepped onto the battlefield yet. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe and turn on notifications, because this story is far from over. Drop your theories in the comments below. Could Ras Master be the Source Dragon of Strength, the Overlord, or even Garmadon, or a complete new being? Thanks for watching.